Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques,
Hulk,
Jacques,
Hulk.
what's up, folks? What is going down? What is happening? Happy Wednesday to everybody. Happy Wednesday to you, Jacques, as well,
Hey,
bro.
happy Wednesday, my brother. I mean, almost 2 more days, but 1 more day to Friday,
Yep,
1 more day to the weekend, man. So happy
yep,
Wednesday, dog. They call it hump day.
absolutely. And happy pre-Juneteenth as well.
Yes,
Juneteenth is
sir.
tomorrow. If you got celebrating Juneteenth in your city, do that. Here in Nashville, we got Juneteenth 6/15. There's a
Yep.
lot going on here in the city, man. Hey, happy early Juneteenth as well, too,
Yes,
y'all.
sir. Happy Juneteenth, baby. Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, first of all, we want to say thank you to Bleacher Report for giving us this opportunity, as we always appreciate. For those who have not followed us here, man, follow us now, man. Follow me at Lorenzo_the Hawk. You can follow my boy Jacques as well at Jacques Merrill. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube as well, of course, subscribe as well at Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques, let's get
Yes,
to
sir.
talking about the OTAs, man. The
Let's do it.
OTAs are now done. They do not come back until July 21st, so July 22nd. So they got a long way to go right now. But hey,
Yeah.
Jacques, let's talk about it, man.
Let's jump into it, dog.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
to me, Hulk. Talk to
Yes,
me.
sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, Jacques, we have not had the opportunity to physically go see them, which we will very soon. But we've done enough research. We've looked at film. We've looked at videos. We've been able to tune in on the radio, also the writers and things like that. So we got a pretty good gist of what has taken place in OTAs for sure. So, Jacques,
Yes, sir.
OTAs are done.
Mm-hmm.
And so far from what you've seen, we're going to look at the winners and the losers in the OTAs.
Mm-hmm.
We got this poll question out there as well. Who would you say was the biggest winner coming from the OTAs? If you have one, if you have several, go for it. But if you had one in particular, who would you say that would be?
I'm gonna give a group. And I'm gonna give it in a way to where. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to a group. I'm gonna give it to the wide receiver group, actually. And the reason why I say that, one, Calvin, I'm gonna go to Calvin Ridley and then I'm gonna work my way down, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Calvin Ridley, man, he is doing something. And I think he mentioned this is the hardest OTAs or offseason he's had so far with any team that he's had. Of course, they sprinkled in the competition, the little pods that they have with each other, but you can tell it's paying off. He looks, man, prepared. And I'm not saying he didn't look prepared last year, but you can tell his second year in the offense, the second year with the Titans, you can tell he's getting chemistry with Cam Ward, getting chemistry with Will Levis too, but primarily Cam Ward. He's making plays in OTA, so I'm just excited to see what he's going to do in training camp. I want him to stay healthy, if that makes sense, but he's put a lot of work, and from a veteran standpoint, he's setting an example. He's been at OTAs, he's been in voluntary workouts, and he's been there from the beginning. That set an example, not just from just a personal standard, but leadership as well. So he's earning his stripes to be a leader, not just for the offense, but for the team itself. Then I'm going to work my way down from the receivers. I'm going to look at the rookies for a minute, if you don't mind me cooking. I'm going to go from the beginning to rookie camp to OTAs. And what I notice is your rookie wide receivers were just getting their feet wet, if that makes sense, right? And what they were doing, they look like deer in the headlights, but at the same time, they look focused. And I think I've mentioned this to you. This rookie class is mature. They're very mature. They look just different. When it came to OTAs, and there was a couple of people I want to call out. Eilick, however you pronounce his name, he's going to be a problem in his offense, dog. I don't want to put an early prediction on it, but I might, where I'm going to say, one, of course, he's making the team, but two, he's going to contribute early in a way to where I'm not going to say he's going to take somebody's spot because you still got Tyler Lockett, but you can't deny him, if that makes sense. That makes sense. And what he's been able to do is he's been making plays on the first team defense. I seen a play he made on Brownlee. I said, okay, he's going to be solid. Then I'm going to go to DK. DK, remember I told you he's a one-trick pony when it comes to the route tree, right? And almost it's like not a slant, but like a slant route that he runs where he takes it and goes. He's learning the route tree, and I've heard of course, with his speed, he's turning it up. Another player I want to give kudos to is Restrepo, right? Restrepo went undrafted. Now, I think I've told you I believe in Restrepo a little bit more than other people. There's a lot of Titans fans that do, but of course he has to earn his stripes. I've heard he's been showing out, man, catching passes from Cam, of course, which is no surprise. They've had chemistry. They come from Miami. Of course, they're gonna do their thing, right? So he has a lock. I'm not saying a lock, but what he has to do, he has to show out on special teams. So his worth ethic would not surprise me if he gets in special teams and starts making plays, and then he kind of works his way into the offense. So this Titans receiver core looks prepared. They look better. They look like they're in the playbook. I've heard the rookies have been coming in at 5 in the morning and it's showing. They're staying later, so they're putting in the work. Kudos to the winners, in my opinion, for OTAs is the wide receiver group. What about you, Hawk?
Facts, no paper, Jacques. That's a great breakdown, bro. And I'd be honest, that's what I wanted to speak on for sure, because that's definitely the highlight of the Titans for sure. And I give you props of that as far as the biggest winners in the OTAs. That's the answer. But I'm gonna also look at it like this too, Jacques. I've been impressed with the linebackers. I think the winners coming out the offseason OTAs are the linebackers. Now, personally, individually, I'm going to say Cam Ward. Cam Ward has been the winner overall. You have a rookie quarterback that has had an amazing OTA camp as a rookie. I know you have several people who are going to sort of downplay it or even somewhat be negative. A lot of the media to say, calm it down. You know, he's this and that. You know, we got this documentary coming out. Just a lot of things about being negative. But, folks, Cam Ward is a rookie. He's a rookie. And you have a guy that threw an interception and threw 18 completions back right after that happened, right? And challenging his receivers, challenging the defense, even with Jeffrey Simmons barking at him and things like that. And even the coach not really quite understanding what to do when you have a rookie that's barking back at guys and performing at a high level. We're not expecting Cam Ward to be perfect. He's going to make some mistakes, right? He's a rookie. But to be a rookie, a first-round pick, the first pick of the draft, Cam Ward has set the example. He has set the expectations very high as far as OTA so far. To your point, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting his players ready. He's got the rookies out there. I mean, I don't expect Cam Ward in this offseason to do anything else but work, man. And that says a lot, man. That says a lot. And, you know, he's been cussing out there. Like, you could just tell he wants to win. He wants to play well. And you don't really see that out of rookies, man. You know what I mean? So I think going into the offseason, going into camp when July starts, Cam Ward has the greatest opportunity to be the starting quarterback, really based on his work ethic. And he's going to be our starting quarterback at some point, no question about it. If it's game 1, game 2, whenever, he's going to be our starting quarterback. So I think going into the OTAs, leaving the OTAs, I think we have left knowing, man, Cam Ward is a baller, bro. Cam Ward can be that guy. And I know there's been a lot of comparisons. There's been some Patrick Mahomes comparisons. There's been a lot of different things. But that lets you know that they think very highly of Cam Ward. So for those that are speaking negative about him, about calming down and things like that, man, look, dude is a rookie, man. He's a rookie. And he's already showing what he can do. So individually, the OTAs is Cam Ward for me, man. I think there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of good spots on this team so far as OTAs. I like Cam Ward, Jacques. I like what Cam Ward has done so far, bro.
Okay, so you picking Cam. Okay, nice,
yes, sir.
Nice. Yep. And we know we have winners. Anything that's a winner, you always have to have a loser on the other side. Who is your biggest losers from OTAs?
So, you know, I've heard some things on certain players and certain groups that haven't performed extremely well out there as a unit. I've heard some things. I've heard the corners have been getting challenged out there. I think that's been a spot. I think some safety play outside of Amani Hooker. I think Amani Hooker's done a great job from what I've heard and things. But, man, I'm going to say this, bro. I'm going to say, man, L'Jarius Sneed, Jacques. I know he hasn't been out there. I don't know his health situation, so I'm not going to knock him down because I don't know where he's at. But right now, man, you know, as far as losers going into the OTAs, it's not so much his performance, it's the fact that he's not on the field. And we need him bad, okay? We need him bad. You got Brownlee, you got you got McCrary, you know, you have some corners. But, man, I'm not walking into the next season like, oh, we straight at corner. We get Darryl Baker. Bro, we got some issues at corner. I think the corner group is not really being looked at like, hey, man, this might be a big hole. And I still feel, and I know there are a lot of Titan fans that might be a little more optimistic than me. I still feel we're not a good football team, bro. I still think we got a long way to go, dude. And you need all parts to work. And L'Jarius Sneed is getting paid very, very well. We traded a 3rd-round pick for him. I mean, this man's making over $100 million, man. And, I really hope he's healthy. I hope situations happen. But him not being on the field, when I'm hearing Coach Brian Callahan speak on L'Jarius Sneed to say, hey, we need you out there. He's not sitting there saying, well, Sneed is hurting. But he's like, hey, bro, scratch that. I need you on the field. So I'm saying the biggest loser going from this offseason OTA is L'Jarius Sneed. We need L'Jarius Sneed. That rhymed, actually. When the season starts, he's got to be on the field. He's your CB2 out there right now. We need him. We need him. So I'm going to personally say L'Jarius Sneed, man, for right now, man. It's the biggest loser. What about you, Jean? We got that.
I'm going to have to mimic that because it's facts, no paper, man. He right now, with him not being there, he hasn't played a lot of football, specifically for the Titans, right? He's earned his stripes with the Chiefs and everything, but he hasn't played a lot of football with us, and that's hurting him. And of course, we know the injury and then the legal situation, and I don't want to bring the legal situation into this because whatever, right? But I'm strictly talking about from the injury. Now, I know the Titans they doing a lot better in previous years of maintaining their players, right? Having them on a maintenance program, which I'm okay with that. But at the same time, hey, it sounds like you behind on your maintenance, man, right? What are you doing to get well? So I think when he is out there, he has to come out there humping, dog. He got to come on the hop. We can't have him out there game 1, game 2, lollygagging or tripping, man, because we paid you all this money. Now we leave a big hole because now it's like, okay, hey, we paid you all this money. You're on the contract through this length of time. We're going to have to figure out how to get you out. And I hate to be like that, but they figure out how to get you out of here, right? So to me, it's L'Jarius Sneed, man. He's the biggest loser. Like, I just think he has to be here, man. And shout out to, I'm going to say this, shout out to Brownlee because he has garnered and gained the experience that he needs in case we do need him to take that round, which he's been able to do since his rookie season. So, yeah, like you said, it's not like we're sold and solid, but if we have Sneed out there, it's an added bonus if that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
it kind of calms my nerves and be like, okay, cool, that side of the field is okay. Brownlee, and it allows me to do more with my defense. It allows me to sneak safety over if I need to, if he needs help, vice versa. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. I mimic that. It's Sneed, dog.
Yeah, for sure. Facts, no paper, Jacques. So we spoke about the biggest winners and the biggest losers of OTA. So let's talk about the rookies, man. Okay. So we got this poll question out there as well, too. Who would you say outside of Cam Ward, we taking Cam Ward out of the equation, of the rookies that we currently have right now in OTAs, for what you've seen, for what you've heard, and everything, who's been the best rookie in the OTA so far?
Man, that's a hell of a question, man. Man, I want to say Elick because he technically has, but I kind of gave him praise early. So I'm gonna go with a second option here that I think he's picking it up quickly. Is Gunnar Ham, right? Gunnar Ham is getting in there. He's getting his hands dirty. He's blocking. He's running the route tree. I've heard great things from him. And I think our tight ends coach is it Luke? Who's our tight ends coach? I think it's Luke. He's played for the Titan. Yeah, Luke Stock. Yeah, the old Titan, right?
Right.
He's had some great things to say about Gunnar, and you need Gunnar in this particular situation. So I'm foreseeing, and it's another thing, like I said, with Elick I forget to get that young man's name right. But with those two rookies, they have the potential of taking spots. And you want that to happen early. And I hate to be like that because this is we're gaining talent, right? If that makes sense. But if those rookies can come in game 1, and if I'm hearing good solid things, man. But yeah, to me, it's Gunnar Ham, man. I've heard he's catching buzz in rookie camp, in OTAs, and I'm excited to see what he can do in training camp. What about you, Hawk?
Facts, no paper, Jacques. As far as the rookies, Jacques, I think Gunnar Ham is going to be our starting tight end, or TE2. TE2 for sure. I think he's the second tight end. And I actually think Elick Ayamana is going to be our X receiver. I know you spoke about it earlier. I think he's going to start. I do. I think Elick's going to start at X, bro. Because he has something the other receivers don't have, and that's size and height, right? Man. And so, and he has ability. I mean, not you be tall and whatever and be trash. He's got skill. So I think Elick has a very good shot. 2 rookies to start. Before a bad offense, bro, we won 3 games. It's wide open. You know what I'm saying? It's wide open for sure. But I tell you, for me, man, who I think has been the biggest winner of all the rookies was the guy that was undrafted, and that's Xavier Restrepo. All right.
Facts, no question.
So Xavier Restrepo, I know you're very high on him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Things and stuff. And as time goes on, my confidence for him is building as well. I think again the biggest challenge is that you got Shamir DK, you got Elike Omena, you already got Calvin Ridley, you brought in Van Jefferson, you got Tyler Lockett. There's a lot of competition in receiver. Receiver has the biggest competition out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the bad side of him is again he is a free agent. He wasn't drafted. So, but at the same time, he was a top target in OTAs. Was Xavier Restrepo, right? Now Restrepo, Cam Ward spoke about him. You know what I'm saying? And then, even when Miami had De'Aaron King at quarterback, he still was the leading receiver, right? Restrepo still catching passes out there. So this guy, he knows how to catch the passes, and he looks a lot faster on the field than he did in his 40 time. You know what I mean? Right. So, I think he's had the best, really based upon where he was drafted. Like, no one is talking about a free agent receiver like they talked about Restrepo. And he's probably the most, besides maybe Shiloh Sanders, he's probably the more popular free agent player in this draft. You know what I'm saying? It's Restrepo. And so he has a mountain to climb to make this team. If anything, he might make a practice squad. But be careful because somebody might try to pick him up. So if he can learn to play some special teams, he's returning punts. He's a punt returner as well. He might fit in and be the wide receiver number 6. It's possible. So I'm going to say Restrepo. I've been the most impressed from what I've seen and what I've heard. Again, he's our top target so far in OTAs. I'm saying an undrafted rookie in Xavier Restrepo for me.
There's a guy. There's somebody's spot that he can take. And I hate to be like this, but Traylon Burks.
Yep.
If Traylon don't get it together, he's supposedly locked at 6 or 7. But if he don't get it together, Restrepo, welcome to the Titans.
That's right.
All right. So let's get into the next segment. In OTAs, what was the most exciting part of this particular OTAs for this year so far?
Okay, cool. So we got that poll question out there, by the way, too. So Jacques, I'm not going to take your shine on this because you spoke about the receivers, bro. You know what I'm saying? I really do think that's the number one answer for me for sure is that. But I'm going to go back a little bit early what I said as far as the linebackers, man. I'm very excited about the linebackers, bro. And I think about Cody Barton. Cody Barton has been playing probably the best so far in OTAs as far as on defense. He's led the team in interceptions. I've heard a lot of great things about him playing extremely smart. When you look at, James Williams out there as well, too. You look at Cedric Gray. The linebacker group is a group that I still feel has a lot of holes, and I still feel can be challenged easily, whether be running or passing on them. But you look at Cedric Gray, you look at James Williams, you look at 2 young guys that's only in their second year, and you drafted both of these guys, right? One of them guys are going to start, if not both. And so both of them bring something different. Cedric Gray is more of a downhill linebacker. He's going to make tackles. James Williams is a rangy. He was a safety, but he's not afraid of anything. He will go up and he'll make hits as well. Don't be in the open field and he's got room to hit you. He's going to knock you out. And then Barton is your smart linebacker, right? He's smart. You know what I'm saying? He's making plays, a veteran in those things. And he has done an incredible job. Probably number 2, number 3 as far as who's playing the best in OTAs is Cody Barton from what I've heard and what I've seen. And so I've been very excited of the play of our middle inside linebackers. Because inside linebackers, corner, and safety are big issues for me right now. And so, and once we get to see them on the field, maybe it'll calm some nerves or whatever. I really don't know what we have. I really don't. But for what I've seen, for what I've heard, the linebacker competition is wide open, and those guys are taking great advantages of the times that they get. So I'm going to say linebacker. What about you, Jacques?
Man, I'm going on a limb to say Cam, man. He's brought an excitement, not just to OTAs, but his fan base and his team. And we knew this. Me and you have been talking about Cam since last October, man. Thanks. And we've seen what to expect. But to actually see it transpire with the Titans, right? If you're a Miami fan, you've already seen it. If you was a Washington State fan, you've already seen it. If you was an Incarnate Ward fan, you've seen it. We haven't seen. We've heard about it. We've seen the product, but we haven't seen it play out. And we're starting to see it play out in front of our eyes, right? He comes in day one, introduces himself to everybody, making himself known. Then you get probably day 2 or week 2 or whatnot. He comes in. He has the rookies coming in at 5 in the morning. Like, who does that, right? That's Tom Brady-ish. That's Peyton Manning-ish. That's Patrick Mahomes-ish, right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, wow, that's pretty solid. And then the buy-in that he's had from not just the rookies, but the entire team now, right? Now Jeffrey Simmons comes in, and he's one of the best defensive linemen in the league, and he's one of the best players on the Titans, and you talking trash to him already. You're not scared of him. Okay. Then you gain the respect from not from just the rookies, but from the veterans. I'm hearing great things. Daryl Baker. What did Daryl Baker say? He said, man, he reminded him of, was it Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Joe
Yeah.
Burrow. I mean, when you have people glossy-eyed, they look like fans. He look like they're fanning out when they're talking about Cam, and it's amazing to see. And it's like, okay, wow. And so the excitement behind it, like, again, me and you have done a significant study on Cam Ward. Like, we've studied this man so much, bro.
Yep.
They ought to give us a scouting job, right? But I mean, just to see it play out. So I think that's the most exciting thing, is we don't have a question mark on that position anymore. We can say, okay, we can breathe a sigh of relief. Like, whew, all right. Now we have a franchise quarterback that's putting in the work. I can accept mistakes, right? I can accept that. I can do that, right? He's going to throw an interception or two, but how do you respond? And then you hear about how he's responding in OTAs, and then you turn around and you get minimal. You're getting minimal shots of them on purpose. I know what the marketing team is doing. They're not trying to spoil it for you, because they probably already see it. They're like, oh, he's going to be cold. But let's wait for the Titans fans to actually see it in the first visual practice, because they'll have to practice at the stadium, and then the first actual preseason game, which at this point I don't even think they're gonna let that man play. They might let him play a series or two, just to be honest with you, because they want to preserve him. So I think that's been the most exciting piece of it, to see that play out like it's played out. And it's like, man, just imagine what training camp holds for everybody, right? This is why I want L'Jarius Sneed to come back, because I want to see how he does against a top corner, right? So that's for me, man.
That's a hell of a point. Facts, no paper, Jacques. Facts, no paper, bro, for sure. So earlier today, man, on ESPN, looking at, there was some comparisons going on for Cam Ward, Louis Riddick. They called Cam Ward Patrick Mahomes 2.0. He spoke very highly of Cam Ward and his ability, and the fact that the Tennessee Titans are lucky to have a quarterback like this guy. He sees a lot of similar traits. Even had highlights of Cam Ward on some plays that look like Patrick Mahomes. So that is really high praise for a player, man, to be compared to Patrick Mahomes, calling him Patrick Mahomes 2.0. So would you compare Cam Ward to Patrick Mahomes? Are there comparisons? What is your overall thought when it comes to Cam Ward and Patrick Mahomes?
Similarities in their game. And what I mean by that, even when I was watching film, how he angles when he throws his passes with that side arm. It's almost like a baseball throw, if that makes sense. And Patrick, prior to Patrick Mahomes, I've seen too many quarterbacks throw the ball that way, right? In tight spaces, in tight windows. How he runs, right? How he can run. He manipulates the run almost to where it looks like he's about to slide, but he's not. Or he looks like he's about. Cam does the same thing, right? The way he looks off. He has similarities. Not saying he's Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying he's going to be Patrick Mahomes from a win percentage and all this crap, but from the way he physically does certain things on the field from watching film. When I was watching film, I said, he looks like somebody, but I'm not going to be the person to say it just yet. I want to see how it plays out and if anybody else sees it, but I see similarities. Would I call Theo a fool for saying it? No, because you've had other comparisons to other quarterbacks. Be like, he looks like Tom. What they're going to do with Arch Manning? If Arch Manning has a decent season, they're going to say he's the next Peyton Manning. Okay, right. Mark my words. Or the next Josh Allen. So you do get those comparisons when you're coming out of college, and it's not far-fetched, right? What were they saying about Caleb Williams last year? Last year when they compared him to Patrick Mahomes. They did. You see what I'm saying? They were comparing him to Patrick. He has Patrick Mahomes-ish similarities as well, how he does certain things. So I think if I'm going to compare him, I'm going to compare him in that way. He has similarities of how he does certain things. Is he Patrick Mahomes? No, he's Cam Ward. He's his own player, right? Make your own lane, bro. Do your thing. That's how I look at life. Like you can compare me, but I'm gonna make my own lane. I appreciate the comparison, but I'm gonna do my own thing. What about you? Is it far fetched to say that? Is it a wild take? Is it crazy? Is it stupid to say that? Like, go ahead. What's your thing?
Yeah, Jacques, facts on paper, I do see similarities for sure with Cam Ward and Patrick Mahomes. There's definitely similarities. And I think the biggest similarity is how they both improvise when the plays break down. And that's why you and I have been saying, I think we are the first media in the world that spoke on Cam Ward, like to say we need to draft Cam Ward. Like we said that like in October. All you gotta do is go back and check because we saw that. Like that's number one pick worthy type of stuff that he does. That's the things that Patrick Mahomes does. And Patrick Mahomes has won multiple Super Bowls, has been to the Super Bowl many times, has been the best team in the AFC because of him. It's him, right? So Cam Ward does have those similarities where you don't see that from any other quarterback, honestly, right? You got a few quarterbacks that can flick the ball and do different things, but something that Cam Ward and Patrick Mahomes both do is they improvise when the plays break down, and it's unbelievable. It's really odd to see because you don't really see that. And we saw that when he was in college. I said, that looked like Patrick Mahomes. That looks just like that, right? So I like your breakdown on the similarities. Yes, there are similarities for sure. But like you said, because of that, what people are going to do is they're going to put the pressure on Cam Ward to beat Patrick Mahomes, right? The national media is already doing that. And it's like, if he don't get to Patrick Mahomes level, then he's a failure or whatever, right? People are already saying it. So I respect what Louis Riddick is saying, but you're going to have people that's going to take that, not so much comparing them from a similarity in playing ability. They're going to look at him like, oh, we got Patrick Mahomes. We're about to win Super Bowls now, right? We're about to win. Cam Ward is his own player. There's plenty of players who have similarities to different things, right? There's plenty. Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers similarities, right? You're gonna have those different things, but they're their own player. And when I look at Aaron Rodgers, I don't look at Brett Favre. Just like when I look at Cam Ward, I don't look at Patrick Mahomes. He might do Cam Ward, might do some Patrick Mahomes things, but there's similarities. But I don't want to compare him to Patrick Mahomes because he hasn't played it down yet. We gotta give some time to put him up there. Right now, it's too early. You got to give it some time. But does he have Patrick Mahomes like abilities? He does. Do we see things like that regularly? No, we don't. And that's a hell of a point you brought about Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams ain't no Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? He can improvise as well, but he's not as athletic,
right,
as Cam Ward or Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? I think Caleb Williams still he has plenty of ability. I think people are down on him. I think he actually can do well in the league, but I think people should pipe down on the Cam Ward as the next Patrick Mahomes and look more of his playing ability, not him as he's the Super Bowl winner until we see, when time, we'll see in time, we'll see what happens. But he ain't throwing it down yet in this league. So, yeah.
It's funny. I think Theo Reddick, I'm not putting words in his mouth, bro. I'm not putting words. Yeah, Louis Reddick. Sorry, why did I say Theo Reddick? Louis Reddick. I think he even is comparing his abilities. But like you said, with Nashville media tends to take that and they hear, like you said, Patrick Mahomes, and they say, oh, Patrick Mahomes, he's the next Patrick Mahomes. No.
Yep.
His abilities. Like Patrick Mahomes has abilities. Like, again, you can compare him to the GOAT now of Tom Brady, but again, they both have their play styles are totally different. Only thing you can compare them on is wins and losses, Super Bowls, right? That is the only thing that you can compare them on. But other than that, play style and playability, two totally different players. So, like you said, man, we know how our media is. We live here. We know. We've been Titans fans for 20-some years. We know this since they've been here. We know how they get down. So, and again, I'm all about making your own lane. Patrick made his own lane.
That's right.
Josh Allen made his own lane.
That's right.
Lamar Jackson made his own lane. So now it's in Jaden Daniels. They're making their own lane. Facts, so Cam, make your own lane, bro. Right. Do your own thing. Bro.
That's facts, bro.
Yeah.
And Jacques, that's a hell of a statement. And I want to say to the national media that's already putting the expectation of Cam Ward to be Patrick Mahomes, like, man, you got to be kidding me. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? That's as soon as those things are said, it's like they hold that as the standard.
Yeah.
And it should not be like that. He's his own player. What Patrick Mahomes is doing is unbelievable. There has not been a quarterback in his first few years, except Tom Brady, in his first few years, who's been like Patrick Mahomes. Like Patrick Mahomes could retire today. He's going to the Hall of Fame immediately. It could be listed as a top 3 quarterback in NFL history. That's how good he's been. So if Cam Ward was to perform like Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to grow hair. I'm going to be like, oh my God, right? Are you kidding me? But to set that as his standard, I think is unfair. And I don't know why it's like that. Only because somebody says, and all of a sudden they run with the story. And that's not cool. Think outside of that. Think smarter than that.
Yep. I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, man.
Facts.
Yeah, do your thing, Cam Ward. You your own guy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, well, cool. Well, hey, listen. We want to say thank you all for joining the show today, y'all, as we always do, man. Shout out again to Bleacher Report. If you're watching us on any other platform, again, we appreciate it as well. If you have not followed us on Bleacher Report, do that today. If you have not downloaded the app, download the app.